Welcome back to Cliffhangers and Page Turners, episode 26. How was your week, you guys? Hopefully a little less intense than the story we're about to unpack today.
Definitely hope so.
Because, wow, if you're into gripping book discussions, you know, the kind with wild plot twists that just leave you questioning everything, then definitely hit that subscribe button.
Please do.
We drop new episodes every Friday on all the usual podcast platforms, but just so you know, for the full library, all the older episodes, you can only find those on YouTube.
Good to know.
So today, we're not just like reviewing a book, we're peeling back the layers of a truly, truly unsettling mystery. A story that just relentlessly tests your understanding of human nature and the dark stuff simmering beneath a seemingly quiet town.
Yeah.
We are, of course, talking about Karin Slaughter's absolutely masterful novel, We Are All Guilty Here.
And our goal for this chat is to really go beyond just the plot points. We want to extract the most critical, sometimes really chilling insights from this incredibly complex story. It's a journey into the human psyche, absolutely, but also a really stark look at the underbelly of a community we might all recognize, you know?
I completely agree. We've meticulously gone through every twist and turn, and believe me, there are many, from the initial just baffling disappearance through the painstaking investigation, the frustrating false leads that honestly make you want to scream.
Right, you're yelling at the book.
Totally. And all the way to the eventual, oh God, gut-wrenching reveal of the truth. It's more than just a suspense thriller. It's a masterclass in how human psychology intertwines with small-town dynamics. So let's set the scene, shall we? Picture this. North Falls, Georgia. A town that boasts a population of under 1,000, just nestled quietly in Clifton County.
Tiny.
From the outside, it projects this image of serene, almost idyllic, small-town life, right? A place where everyone knows your name, and presumably your business, too.
Oh, definitely your business.
But as Karin Slaughter shows us, like right from the outset, even the most tranquil-looking places harbor their own insidious secrets. And sometimes, those secrets don't just fester.
Oh.
They ignite in the most unexpected and devastating ways, threatening to consume everything and everyone in their path. What struck me immediately was just how quickly that facade crumbles.
Karin Slaughter is just a master at establishing atmosphere, isn't she? She throws us right into this small-town inferno on the night of the 4th of July fireworks. This is the moment two teenage girls, Madison Dalrymple and Cheyenne Baker, vanish without a trace. This is the catalyst, the spark that throws North Limple, falls into chaos, and sets our entire story in motion.
And the atmosphere she paints.
Oh, it's so vivid. Slaughter immediately grounds us in this very specific kind of jaded small-town feeling. It's scorching hot, like over 100 degrees by 10 in the morning, making the lake feel warmer than bathwater. Everyone's gathered for the fireworks, acting like the 4th of July is hugely important, when nobody knew the difference between the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, and they had to hum most of the words to the Star-Spangled Banner when the school band played.
That detail.
It paints such a clear picture, doesn't it? A community may be more invested in the spectacle than the substance, a place where traditions are followed more out of habit than, you know, real conviction.
That initial description is incredibly evocative, yeah.
Yeah.
It immediately hints at this deeper, almost unsettling apathy just beneath the surface of North Falls, which feels so crucial to understanding how things unfold later.
Absolutely.
And we're introduced to Madison right in the thick of this, her perspective immediately drawing us into her frantic search for Cheyenne, her eyes scanning the crowd, picking out the mullets and poodle perms.
Classic small town.
Right. There's this palpable agitation, a rising panic, as she realizes Cheyenne is an alarming 31 minutes late. It's clear this isn't just a casual meeting. Something is already off.
Not at all. And it's a detail that immediately tells us a lot about these girls. Madison mentally reviews their meticulous plan, which they'd gone over dozens of times, apparently even walking the route with a stopwatch.
Wow.
They weren't meeting at the snowball stand, which is what Madison initially lies to Emmy about. No, the real plan was to meet under the oak tree, then ride their bikes back to Cheyenne's house. From there, they were going to, quote, borrow Cheyenne's dad's car and boost some of his scotch, then go joyriding around town while all the stupid people watch the fireworks.
So not just typical teenage rebellion.
No, it immediately reveals this calculated rule-breaking streak, right? A yearning for excitement and a clear disdain for the perceived, well, banality of their town.
And that daydream she has.
Oh, the daydream. Madison's vivid daydream of zooming in Mr. Baker's brand new Jetta, going over 100 miles an hour, sticking up from the sunroof with her arms wide, Rihanna blasting. It really illustrates this deep yearning for escape, a fantastical sense of freedom that feels both, universal for teenagers, but also acutely desperate in her specific case.
Yet, despite this rebellious exterior and that almost defiant daydream, there's this unexpected layer of just profound sadness that hits Madison.
Yeah, that moment is powerful.
As the fireworks finally start, she finds herself surprisingly moved, wiping her eyes, getting mad at herself for crying. She admits internally that she misses her father's comforting arm, the way he used to pull her close and make her feel safe. Every ooh and ah, every loud boom reminds Madison of everything that had been lost. This tiny detail hints that these deeper emotional complexities within her suggests a vulnerability beneath the tough facade. And it also serves as such a poignant foreshadowing.
It really does.
What do you think Karin Slaughter achieves by juxtaposing Madison's very private, almost universal moment of adolescent grief with the sudden, brutal external event that shatters her world? How does that specific choice heighten the sense of vulnerability for the reader?
That's an excellent point, and it's classic Slaughter, right? By showing us Madison's inner world, her raw, unguarded emotion just moments before disaster strikes, the author makes her incredibly human and relatable. We're not just seeing a rebellious teen, we're seeing a grieving child, longing for comfort, right before her innocence is just violently stripped away. This juxtaposition amplifies the tragedy, making us feel Madison's isolation and vulnerability so acutely. It grounds the horror that follows in a really personal way. So it's not just a crime happening to a girl, but to this specific girl we've just connected with,
Right.
And it's during this moment of internal reflection that she barely registers a car pulling into the parking lot, headlights off, bumping over the curb, and through caution tape.
Chilling.
It's not until another explosion of light from the fireworks illuminates the field that she realizes what she's looking at. A white Chevy Equinox stopped right in the middle of the field. The seemingly quiet night is about to shatter, and we feel that shattering personally because of that earlier emotional connection.
Indeed. It's a truly chilling setup, made all the more impactful by that intimate glimpse into Madison's thoughts. And it's also where we're introduced to Emmy, a local cop who, we quickly learn, has this complicated, deeply personal relationship with Madison.
Yeah, Emmy's connection is key.
Emmy, on duty at the 4th of July celebration, feels a niggling guilt for blowing off Madison earlier. The girl he clearly wanted to talk.
Yeah.
This is such a crucial early flag for us, and definitely for Emmy herself. It highlights a missed opportunity that will just haunt her throughout the entire novel.
Oh, absolutely.
She'd seen Madison twice that night. First, around 8:30 p.m., where Madison seemed annoyed and had somewhere else to be, making up that story about meeting Cheyenne at a non-existent snowball stand.
The lie.
Then again around 8:50 p.m. by the bleachers. Emmy admits to her father, Gerald, later, just rawly, "I fucked up. I had Madison right there, close enough to touch, and she was finally ready to ask for my help, but instead of helping her, I hid in the fucking shit box, and now she's gone." This self-blame is so raw and powerful, you just feel the weight of it.
It absolutely sets the emotional stakes for Emmy, tying her directly and personally to the tragedy. And the town's perception of Madison is equally stark, which further complicates Emmy's feelings.
Right, the gossip.
We get a glimpse through local gossip, specifically from Brett, a local, and his smugly pregnant wife, Vanna. Vanna offers this truly harsh, almost cruel view of Madison, calling her a kid with the evil already baked in.
That line.
And even suggesting sending her to one of those schools where they snatch the kid in the middle of the night and drop them in a desert somewhere in Utah. It paints such a vivid picture of a judgmental, small-minded community quick to demonize a troubled teenager.
And Emmy's internal reaction to that.
Yeah, Emmy internally thinks Vanna looked like a Teletubby and would shit all over herself when that thing rips out of her. It's this flash of dark humor amidst the tension, but it shows Emmy's disgust.
Yeah, it speaks volumes, doesn't it? It shows her own deeply human frustration with the hypocrisy and narrow-mindedness of some of these townspeople, even as she's trying to keep her professional cool, in contrast to that harsh judgment. Hannah, Madison's stepmother, is portrayed by the town as a saint for putting up with Madison, loving her like a daughter. Emmy clearly had a close relationship with Hannah, seeing her as a best friend since kindergarten.
Which makes it even more personal for Emmy.
Totally. The background we get tells us Madison was only 7 when her mother died, and Hannah, her first-grade teacher, stepped in. It should have been a Hallmark movie, but Madison transformed into a seething, sullen nightmare after Hannah and Paul started dating and then married.
Tough situation.
They tried everything. Therapy, bribes like a new bike, clothes, an expensive iPhone, the very phone later found near a pool of blood. This troubled past is absolutely crucial for understanding Madison's character, her internal struggles, and perhaps why she was so susceptible to Cheyenne's influence or, well, whatever danger found her that night.
It's all about context, isn't it? And from the community's whispers and Emmy's personal regrets, Karin Slaughter just swiftly transitions us into the sharp, visceral reality of a police investigation. This is where Emmy's cop's instinct really kicks in.
That feeling that something is deeply wrong.
Yeah, but it's still early enough that she's kind of fighting against the terrifying implications, you know?
And that instinct is more than just a plot device. It's this recurring motif throughout the novel that really grounds Emmy's character.
It feels real.
Emmy, a 6-year veteran, has developed this cop's instinct, described as a subtle change in the air, a sort of static charge she felt on the surface of her skin that told her something terrible was about to happen.
The tickle.
Exactly. Her father, Gerald, a veteran of the sheriff's office since the Eisenhower era, calls it the tickle, emphasizing the almost supernatural, visceral aspect of police work. This isn't just a metaphor. It's a deep-seated intuition honed by years of experience, often a subconscious pattern recognition. How do you think Slaughter uses this subjective tickle to ground the procedural elements? Does it allow for uncertainty amidst the evidence? And how does it connect Emmy to her dad?
That's a great question, and I think it's one of the most brilliant aspects of the character development. The tickle serves multiple purposes. First, it personalizes the investigation for Emmy. It's not just about facts and figures. It's this gut-level knowing that bypasses logic, making her feel directly connected to the horror unfolding.
Right.
Second, it's a way for Slaughter to build suspense and foreshadow without explicitly giving anything away. When Emmy feels the tickle, we, the reader, know something significant is about to happen, even if Emmy herself can't quite articulate it yet.
Yeah, you brace yourself.
Third, it's a powerful narrative device that connects her so deeply to her father, Gerald. His calling it the tickle makes it this shared, almost inherited gift or burden of their calling. It's a subtle way Slaughter shows their deep bond, even when they're not overtly expressing affection.
And Gerald knows that county.
Like the back of his hand. Clifton County, population nearly 20,000, North falls under 1,000. He knows it like the arteries inside of his heart. The small town geography with cities like Verona, Okmulgee, Clayville, all bordered by the Flint River, it just reinforces the contained, interconnected nature of the setting.
Where everyone knows everyone, or thinks they do.
Exactly, which just amplifies the shock of the disappearances, because it's not supposed to happen here, you know?
The actual scene of the crime is presented with such chilling detail, painting this stark contrast to the earlier fireworks display.
Yeah, the mood shifts completely.
Madison, caught in her sadness, barely registers a car pulling into the parking lot. The headlights are off, the driver unseen, as it rolls down the first row, then bumps over the curb and right through the yellow caution tape.
So brazen.
It's not until another explosion of light from the fireworks illuminates the field that she realizes what she's looking at. That white Chevy Equinox stopped right in the middle of the field. This momentary illumination reveals the terrifying reality, almost like a flashbulb moment of horror.
It's a truly cinematic moment, isn't it? And then Gerald's focused attention immediately draws Emmy to a crucial piece of evidence. He silently points out a large pool of oil from another car, but his focus is entirely on a damaged bicycle.
Madison's bike.
Emmy immediately recognizes its significance, stating, "That bike is Madison's freedom. She's 15, she can't drive, she wouldn't leave it in the middle of a field." This confirms the bike's importance and is a strong initial indicator of foul play. Gerald, in his silent, observant way, tracks the SUV's path, and Emmy, connecting the dots under his guidance, realizes the Chevy hit the front wheel of the bike first, so it was facing west.
The details matter.
They do. And the broken caution tape, as noted by Hugo, who incidentally drove over the bike later.
Oh, right, Hugo.
It suggests the scene was already disturbed. It's a powerful moment of mentorship. Gerald isn't testing Emmy, he's teaching her, refining her instincts. It underscores that this crime scene is not what it appears, already manipulated.
Yeah, Cheyenne's bike.
Found nearby, but thrown instead of dropped, handlebars backward, having slid several feet before hitting the trunk of a tree, definitely suggests a violent struggle, not just, dropping it and walking away.
The gravity of what this all means quickly escalates into growing panic for Emmy. She tries Madison's phone, but it goes straight to voicemail, the mailbox full.
That dreaded full mailbox.
Her hands had started to tremble. This was bad. This was really bad. Hannah's frantic arrival, asking if Paul can track Madison's phone, which he'd previously installed but wouldn't let Hannah use, just underscores the rapidly rising tension and the desperate hope of finding the girls alive. It's a visceral moment, really driving home the shift from routine police work to an active, terrifying abduction.
It's an agonizing moment for Emmy, loaded with personal dread. Her profound regret over her last interactions with Madison is laid bare, and it becomes this driving force for her.
That what if?
Exactly. She recounts seeing Madison twice on the 4th, first around 8:15 or 8:30 p.m., annoyed and claiming to meet Cheyenne at that fake snowball stand. The second time, around 8:50 p.m., by the bleachers, Madison seemed to want to talk, but Emmy brushed her off to go to the bathroom.
Oh, that timing.
She confesses to Gerald, "I fucked up. I had Madison right there, close enough to touch, and she was finally ready to ask for my help, but instead of helping her, I hid in the fucking shitbox and now she's gone." This isn't just self-blame, it's the raw articulation of a police officer's worst nightmare, the what-if that haunts them, and it makes her relentless pursuit all the more compelling.
And the initial evidence gathered starts to paint an increasingly grim picture, confirming Emmy's fears. She remembers that bulge in the front pocket of her shorts, something bigger than a tampon or lip gloss, maybe a Ziploc bag with snacks or something.
A seemingly small detail.
Right, which she dismisses at the time, but it will prove to be highly significant. Later, it was actually a bag of weed and a mini SD card. They also noted Cheyenne's bike was thrown instead of dropped, its handlebars backward, having slid several feet before hitting the trunk of a tree. This isn't a careless discard. It strongly suggests a violent struggle. It's the kind of detail that just makes a reader's heart sink, realizing the girls didn't go willingly.
And the timeline itself, once they start piecing it together, is terrifying and immediately sets the grim stakes. There were 85 minutes between Emmy last seeing Madison at 8:50 p.m. and Hugo hitting her bike around 10:15 p.m.
85 minutes.
That gave the kidnapper a significant head start. As Emmy starkly puts it, 85 minutes to terrify, 85 minutes to torture, 85 minutes to kill. The grim statistics on child abductions immediately frame the urgency. In 44% of cases, the victim is murdered within the first hour. 78% die within the first 3 hours. Within 24 hours, virtually all of the victims are dead. This knowledge, coupled with the elapsed time, makes every passing second agonizing, creating an almost unbearable tension for both the characters and us, the readers. It underscores that time is not just a factor, but the factor.
The team then begins to profile the abduction, initially considering family member or acquaintance abduction. But they quickly rule out family due to the involvement of two girls, which kind of complicates a simple domestic issue.
Right.
And acquaintance abduction, while accounting for 27% of cases and often involving teenage females in sexual physical assault, would have offered much better opportunities than an open field with half of North Falls nearby.
Why do you think Karin Slaughter emphasizes these details of the profiling? Is it just procedural realism, or is there maybe a deeper commentary on how we categorize these horrifying crimes? That's a really insightful question, and I think it's both. On one hand, it's procedural realism. Good police work involves understanding statistics and typical scenarios. It makes the investigation feel authentic.
Yeah.
But on a deeper level, Slaughter uses it to show the devastating realization when a crime doesn't fit the expected patterns. When they eliminate family and acquaintance, they're left with the terrifying conclusion of a random stranger, a predatory kidnapper, who account for fewer than 1% of cases.
The nightmare scenario.
Exactly. These victims are typically teenage females with an aggregate age of 14, often taken outdoors and coerced with a firearm, with the kidnapper driving a car, in this case, a sedan. It strips away any comforting familiar motive and plunges the reader into the realm of pure random evil. It's the kind of crime that shatters a community's sense of safety because it means anyone could be a target.
In Gerald's theory.
Gerald speculates he took Cheyenne first. Emmy elaborates on this chilling hypothesis, suggesting the kidnapper drove up to her on the street, showed her the gun, she started bargaining. "My friend is waiting for me. If I don't show up, she'll come looking. Her stepmother's best friend is a cop."
Using that connection.
The kidnapper, realizing this, then decides to use Cheyenne as bait to draw out Madison. This chilling hypothesis, tragically, is later confirmed to be exactly what happened, highlighting a highly sophisticated and controlling perpetrator right from the start, not just some random opportunist.
As the investigation deepens, the focus irrevocably shifts to Cheyenne, and we begin to peel back these layers, revealing a hidden life far more complex and dangerous than her parents or the quiet town in North Falls had ever suspected. It's almost like the girls, in trying to escape the confines of North Falls, inadvertently stepped into something far, far more dangerous.
It's a profound irony, isn't it? What's fascinating here is the immediate denial from Cheyenne's parents, Felix and Ruth Baker. Felix provides a shaky alibi for the night of the disappearance,
Convenient.
while Ruth immediately points the finger at Madison, declaring, "Madison is the one who got them into this. Cheyenne never got into trouble until we moved to this backwater." Felix agrees, saying Cheyenne changed when she met Madison.
Lame game.
Totally. They deny Cheyenne had no boyfriends, despite Emmy knowing Hannah had spotted a hickey on her neck. They also deny she had other friends, even though she was initially popular. These denials immediately raise bright red flags for the police and for us as readers, signaling that the Bakers are either deliberately misleading the police or just tragically ignorant of their daughter's reality.
Or both.
Or both. It highlights a common parental blind spot, right? Where children are seen through this carefully constructed facade rather than their true, complex selves.
And the true extent of Cheyenne's secret life really comes to light during the search of her room, which is such a pivotal moment.
Oh yeah, the lockbox.
Emmy discovers a lockbox in her closet, containing photos of Cheyenne with a boy and a bag of pot. But it's Cheyenne's younger sister, Pamela, who then directs Emmy to a hidden attic access panel.
The sister knows something.
And there, Emmy finds closer to $5,000 in the lockbox, mostly crisp $50 bills. This is a staggering amount of cash for a teenager and immediately raises serious questions about how she acquired it, suggesting an illicit income stream that goes far beyond a casual summer job. It's a moment where you realize just how far out of her depth Cheyenne really was.
Absolutely. This discovery leads directly to Emmy's astute analysis about the whole bad seed debate that seems to be raging in North Falls.
Right. Who corrupted whom?
Exactly. She observes, everybody treats you like you're a kid, but you think you're an adult. Your parents are stupid. School's a waste of time. The Bakers claim Madison is the one who corrupted Cheyenne. Hannah and Paul say that Cheyenne is the bad seed. I think it's more likely that they egged each other on.
That feels more realistic.
It does. She hypothesizes that Cheyenne, being from out of town and seen as exciting and flashy, drew Madison in. In turn, Madison soaks up the drama and emotion like a sponge. And to keep Madison's attention, Cheyenne has to keep taking bigger and bigger risks.
A dangerous dynamic.
Totally. This dynamic explains their susceptibility to trouble and makes the critical connection. If I'm a skeevy drug dealer, Cheyenne is the one I approach. It's a chilling insight into predatory grooming, and it shifts the blame from a simple bad kid narrative to a much more complex understanding of vulnerability and exploitation.
That dynamic is so well observed. It reminds you how easily teenagers, desperate for excitement or acceptance, can just be drawn into dangerous situations. And the digital trail only confirms these suspicions and deepens the mystery.
The phones.
Paul Dalrymple provides Madison's cell phone records, which reveal that beyond his and Hannah's numbers, Madison only called 3 others. One is Cheyenne's known flip phone, but the second is a pay-as-you-go account, a burner.
A burner phone, always a bad sign.
Right. The fact that Cheyenne has one immediately signals she's involved in something she desperately wants to keep secret.
And the activity on it.
Madison called Cheyenne's flip phone before and after summer school. But during school, she exchanged 50, maybe 100 texts over the course of 6 hours with the burner.
Wow, that's a lot.
This activity then stops when school is out, only to resume around midnight and continue off and on until the morning. The late-night activity especially feels incredibly ominous.
It speaks volumes about the level of secrecy and risk involved. Emmy quickly deduces that the burner has to belong to Cheyenne, reasoning that a predator or dealer wouldn't be on the phone that much. It leaves a record. He'd want to interact in person, less chance of being overheard. Which makes sense, right?
Seems logical.
However, Gerald, ever the seasoned investigator, offers a counterpoint that hadn't occurred to Emmy, and it's a chilling thought. Could be the kidnapper bought the phones. This suggests an even more highly sophisticated controlling perpetrator, who not only orchestrates the abductions but also manages the girls' communication to ensure their silence and control the flow of information. It's a leap from simple drug dealing to something far more sinister and premeditated.
And it's at this point that those initial profiles of the abduction truly start to coalesce with the reality of North Falls' hidden underbelly. We begin to get the first tangible leads into this drug scene from a surprising source. Jack Whitlock.
Yeah, Jack. The local teen, widely regarded as unpopular, almost an outcast.
He reveals that guys were saying if you needed Oxy or Addies, then Chey could hook you up, confirming Cheyenne's drug dealing. Jack also mentions a perv who shows up at parties down by the falls, an older guy like way out of high school, identifying a potential local dealer and person of interest. But here's the twist that I think makes Slaughter's writing so brilliant. We later discover that Jack himself was paid by Elijah Walker for sex, and this funding allowed him to create the podcast, Misguided Angel, that eventually freed Adam Hunsinger.
The irony is staggering.
It's such a shocking twist of irony, right? The mechanism of Adam's release being tied to the very subculture he was accused of being part of. It's almost a commentary on how interconnected and often morally gray these small-town worlds can be.
It really does complicate the narrative in such a profound way, doesn't it? This segment makes it crystal clear that Cheyenne and Madison were not merely innocent victims in the purest sense. They were deeply entangled in a dangerous game, one they severely underestimated.
They were in over their heads.
Completely. The drugs, the money, the hidden phones, it all points to a calculated operation, not just a random act, and sets the stage perfectly for the false leads that will follow, making the reader question everyone and everything. It's not just a whodunit, it's definitely a how deep does it go scenario.
As new, often conflicting information comes to light, the investigation throws up potential suspects, each with their own dark secrets, leading the team, and us, down this labyrinth of false assumptions.
Yeah, the red herrings start piling up.
We see this acutely in the initial intense focus on Dale Loudermilk and the bewildering revisit of the Adam Hunsinger case. It feels like Karin Slaughter is deliberately playing with our expectations here, luring us down these dead ends.
She absolutely is, and the Dale Loudermilk lead is a masterclass in misdirection and just deeply uncomfortable truths. Emmy's confrontation with Dale, a music teacher at North Falls High, is incredibly intense and unsettling.
Finding that laptop.
He's caught red-handed, copying files from a hidden laptop. The contents are truly nauseating. 968 files were being copied to a thumb drive titled Sheet Music, but the actual folders contained alphabetized JPEGs, chillingly named Abigail 10, Allison 10, Andy 11, Angela 10, Anna 9. The thumbnails alone were nauseating. It's undeniable. Dale Loudermilk is a pedophile with easy access to both of the girls in the school system.
And his attitude.
His arrogance is striking. Even when caught, he remains smug and condescending, clearly thinking he's smart enough to talk his way out of trouble, making excuses about the laptop and denying guilt. He even scoffs at Emmy, saying Emmy Clifton is a child. She only got the job because of her father. It's infuriating, but it shows the specific kind of evil that hides in plain sight, using social standing as a shield.
And his alibi for the night of the abduction is weak, and his Glock 20 pistol is missing. To make matters worse, he bleached his wife's black Audi A4, a high-end car, clean at 5:30 a.m., claiming chipped paint from a lawnmower.
Yeah, right, a lawnmower.
Then Cole, with his sharp eye, points out a significant mileage discrepancy. The Audi had 690 miles put on it in just 2 days before the abduction, an impossible amount for ordinary use in a small town like North Falls. This strongly links the car to the crime. Every single piece of evidence just screams guilty, making him the obvious villain.
It certainly does, and the author stacks the deck against him beautifully. Yet, despite all this damning circumstantial evidence, there are initial, subtle reasons to doubt Dale as the killer.
Like the photos.
Critically, there are no photos of Madison or Cheyenne on his laptop, and the girls in his collection were generally younger, typically 8, 11, not 15-year-olds. This detail starts to chip away at the initial certainty, introducing that nagging doubt that is so central to a good mystery.
Right.
It forces us to ask, is he a monster or the monster responsible for this crime? It's a crucial distinction.
So if it wasn't Dale, what does this all mean for the ongoing investigation? Just as we're grappling with Dale's disturbing truth, the story takes a significant, unsettling turn with the reemergence of Adam Hunsinger.
Adam, back from death row.
He was on death row for the murder of Madison and Cheyenne, but was suddenly released 2 days prior. His release was a direct result of a podcast, Misguided Angel, which exposed a mishandled rape kit in the Barbara Jericho case, where DNA matched Adam, giving him an alibi for the night of Madison and Cheyenne's abduction. It's an incredible twist that immediately upends everything we thought we knew.
It truly does, and it immediately spotlights the fallibility of the justice system. Adam's background is also revealing, almost designed to make him look guilty, you know?
Yeah, the perv.
He was described as impetuous and stupid, never married, and always in trouble, known for dumb people crimes, like open container and drunk driving. He was also infamously known as the perv for hanging around high schoolers.
And the evidence against him seemed strong at first.
It did. His fingerprints were found on Cheyenne's necklace, which he claimed Madison asked him to fix. Millie saw Adam and Madison at the pond. Their DNA was found on cigarettes. And Walton's Jetta, to which Adam had access, had matching tire tracks and a bumper mark consistent with hitting a bike.
Plus the gun and the weed.
Adam also had access to a similar pistol, and his fingerprints were on the bag of weed found in Madison's pocket. It's a classic case of all the arrows pointing to the easy, obvious target.
But Cole, with his methodical approach, highlights the weak spots in that original investigation, exposing the flaws. It's almost infuriating, isn't it, to see how Adam was convicted based on evidence that was consistent with, but not matched exactly.
Yeah, consistent with is not matched exactly. Big difference.
He points out that the evidence was all consistent with and not matched exactly. There was no ballistics match for pistols, no size 11 boots found to match shoe prints, no prints or DNA of the girls in the Jetta, and no hammer, the weapon used to break Madison's bones, was ever found.
Crucial missing pieces.
Furthermore, there were no other abduction or murder cases with a matching MO or modus operandi, the specific method of criminal uses. What does this say about the pressures on small-town law enforcement, or even a community's desire for quick closure, that such fundamental doubts were overlooked for so long?
That's a really critical point, and it's a powerful commentary on the justice system, especially in these tight-knit communities. The pressure to solve heinous crimes, particularly those involving children, can be immense.
Unbelievable pressure.
And when you have a suspect who already fits a preconceived notion of bad, someone like Adam, already dubbed the perv and known for minor infractions, it becomes easier for investigators in the community to just latch on to circumstantial evidence. It's less about malicious intent, maybe, and more about cognitive bias, confirmation bias.
They wanted him to be guilty.
Exactly. They wanted Adam to be guilty because it provided an answer, a closure. This deep-seated conviction, of course, creates a massive internal conflict for Emmy. She fucking hated Adam, especially after seeing Madison's autopsy and the systematically broken bones in her hands and feet.
She held Madison's body.
She had held Madison's dead body, an incredibly visceral experience that initially solidified her conviction of Adam's guilt. She attended the autopsies, recalling Cheyenne was beaten and shot in the head, and Madison's hands and feet systematically broken, probably with a hammer, kept alive for 12 to 18 hours. This deep-seated conviction makes the possibility of his innocence even more difficult for her to accept.
So the question looms large.
If Adam didn't do it, who did? And if Adam was wrongly convicted, who are the actual serial offenders in these cases? And could Madison and Cheyenne have been victims of a larger, unaddressed pattern? This segment effectively showcases how easily communities can jump to conclusions and how deeply flawed investigations, fueled by emotion and prior biases, can be.
Just as the previous case cast this long, unsettling shadow, raising all these questions about justice and perception, a new disappearance shakes the community, drawing parallels that are impossible to ignore and reigniting the terror in North Falls. It's almost like the town is trapped in some horrific loop.
The alarm bells don't just ring. They scream when Brett reports another missing girl, Paisley Walker, 14 years old. Her bike is found abandoned, just like Madison's and Cheyenne's.
Oh my God.
Paisley's mom says she left for school on her bike a little before 7, but school hasn't seen her either. The similarities are chillingly precise, echoing the earlier abductions in a way that's impossible to dismiss.
The town must have exploded.
The town, already a powder keg from Adam Hunsinger's release and the renewed attention on the old case, erupts. Sylvia Wrigley, the local editor, is already posting photos, fueling calls for vigilante mob action against Adam, demonstrating just how quickly fear can devolve into blind rage and a thirst for immediate, often misguided, retribution.
This escalating crisis pushes Emmy to a point of sheer raw desperation. Bypassing the station and any semblance of protocol, she races directly to Adam Hunsinger's house.
Goes rogue.
She even overrides Cole's logical protest that Adam wouldn't be stupid enough to take her to his house. Emmy's cop's instinct is now fused with raw, personal desperation, overriding logic. She prepares for a silent approach with her Glock, even setting her phone to record whatever happens, knowing that this confrontation could be deadly for her, or for Adam, or both. It's a reckless move born of absolute terror and urgency.
And in that intense confrontation, Adam is initially defiant. Holding an unloaded shotgun, he demands Emmy ask about the hammer, vehemently denying involvement in Madison and Cheyenne's murders and Paisley's abduction. He bitterly points to that podcast bitch, Jude Archer, for suggesting Dale Loudermilk did it.
He's furious.
His rage is palpable as he shouts, "You stole 12 years of my life. Nobody believed me."
He's arrested for threatening an officer and violating his bail, but his words about being wrongly convicted resonate with Emmy's growing doubts about the original case. The encounter, while terrifying, further complicates the narrative, making Adam less a clear villain and more a tragic, deeply wronged figure.
Here's where a truly crucial discovery is made. A subtle but incredibly powerful shift in perspective. As Adam is taken away, Walton Hunsinger, Adam's father, casually mentions Alma's Slanka in the kitchen cabinet.
The Slanka, such a small detail.
Acting on a hunch, pure gut feeling, Emmy finds Adam's old wallet and driver's license there. The license, issued when Adam was 49, lists him as 6'2" and 190 pounds and had expired while he was on death row.
The crucial detail, and the one that sends a shiver down your spine, is that Adam was never caught with his license when arrested for the original murders. It's a tiny, almost insignificant detail, but it's the loose thread that unravels everything.
And that's the beauty of Slaughter's intricate plotting. This sparks a profound, terrifying realization for Emmy. Could Adam have been framed? Was Walton using his son's ID to cover his own tracks?
Oh my God, Walton.
Could the real accomplice be Dr. Walton Hunsinger, a respected dentist, a white male who worked in a skilled position that required education and training, and someone with frequent contact with children? This dramatically shifts the focus from the obvious scapegoated suspect Adam to a trusted community figure, Walton, a man above suspicion.
The performance he puts on.
Suddenly, Walton's mournful act, praising Gerald, claiming Adam was a loner, expressing sadness for Paisley, and then subtly trying to deflect and project blame onto Adam, now becomes chillingly obvious to Emmy. His constant touching of his neck, leaving deep scratches, and his insistence that Alma held on to Adam's belongings, she always believed he was innocent, are telltale signs of his deception, now seen through a new, much darker lens.
And as this new suspect emerges from the shadows of respectability, another horrifying piece of the puzzle falls into place. Emmy finds the 16-ounce general-purpose claw hammer in the shed.
The hammer!
A tool chillingly consistent with Madison's horrific injuries. This discovery, made in Walton's shed, shifts the focus back to the immediate crime scene and potential hidden locations within the property. It's a moment where all the scattered pieces of the puzzle begin to violently snap together, creating a picture far more disturbing than anyone had imagined.
Precisely. This section truly brings home the idea that in a small town, the figures we trust most can hide the darkest, most unfathomable secrets. The narrative pivots sharply from the obvious scapegoated suspect, Adam, to a truly shocking reveal, forcing both Emmy and us, the listener, to question everything we thought we knew about North Falls and its respectable citizens.
It's terrifying.
It's a chilling reminder that evil often wears a polite, unassuming facade, blending seamlessly into the fabric of everyday life. This is where the title, "We Are All Guilty Here," really starts to resonate on multiple levels. The guilt of the perpetrators, the guilt of a community that ignored signs, and perhaps even the guilt of rushing to judgment.
The tension builds to an almost unbearable level as Emmy, alone and vulnerable, confronts a long-trusted colleague, a man who had served alongside her father for decades. This isn't just a confrontation with a criminal, it's a profound betrayal. A moment where the truth finally shatters the calm, respectable facade of North Falls and everything Emmy believed about her community and its people.
It's an absolutely gut-wrenching scene. What's fascinating here is the immediate, chilling detail that Brett reports Alma Hunsinger is drugged and not making sense, a clear indicator of Walton's immediate actions to silence his wife, further confirming his complicity and ruthlessness.
He drugged his own wife.
Emmy, seeking comfort and information, goes to Virgil's private investigator office, which doubles as a barbershop, hoping to find Adam's old case files. The files are in dilapidated file boxes in an open closet, disorganized. Emmy finds a box in Virgil's handwriting. Call logs.
A clue.
It's a subtle clue, a seemingly innocuous detail, but enough to trigger Emmy's tickle again. A stillness had washed over her body. It was the same feeling she'd had on the road with her father. She slowly reaches for her Glock. The silence before the storm is palpable.
And then the true monster reveals himself. Virgil appears, a Ruger pointed squarely at her chest. His words are horrifying, a profound moment of betrayal and perversion from a longtime family friend and trusted colleague of her father.
Just sickening.
Don't cry, Emmy Lou. You were that age once, so young and stupid, all arms and legs. You know how hard it was for me to leave you alone? If Jonah hadn't had you first, I could have shown you how good it feels to be with a man. He calls her beautiful, misguided Emmy Lou. This isn't just a confession of his crimes, it's a chilling exposition of his twisted psyche, his history of preying on vulnerable girls, and a complete shattering of any trust Emmy ever had. It's a moment that changes her forever.
It absolutely obliterates her world. Virgil then confesses that Dale Loudermilk was not his type. He figured Dale out years before it happened, but didn't send him to prison because Dale did him some favors, illustrating a wider, deeply disturbing network of concealed depravity and complicity in North Falls.
Oh God, the favors.
It reveals a level of control and manipulation that's far more insidious than a lone wolf predator. Emmy, desperate to throw him off balance, gambles with a calculated accusation. Walton drove Esther Loudermilk's Audi to Muscle Shoals. He used Adam's driver's license to fly to West Virginia and back. Then he drove back to North Falls so he could abduct the girls with you.
Trying to get him to slip up.
This accusation is partly accurate, weaving together some truths with a desperate attempt to make Virgil reveal his true co-conspirator. Virgil denies involvement with Walton, claiming Walton was too weak. Emmy, with no other choice and faced with imminent danger, shoots Virgil, killing him in a brutal, horrifying act of self-preservation. It's a moment of profound trauma for her, despite the justification.
Overwhelmed by what she's done and the horrifying truth now laid bare, Emmy has a sudden, desperate realization. Virgil wouldn't take Paisley home. He would hide her in a familiar, isolated place where he felt comfortable and could return to relive his crimes.
The barn.
The barn. She runs, driven by desperate hope, stumbling and breaking her wrist in her haste. This scene is just agonizing to read. You feel her desperation, her pain, her singular focus.
And in that barn, Paisley is found, lying on her side. Blood spotted her face, her torso, her legs. Her eyes were closed, lips swollen. Her hands were grotesquely misshapen. She is severely dehydrated, but miraculously alive.
Thank God.
Emmy notes the hay bales weren't just for storage. They were for soundproofing, for cover, for soaking up blood and fluids and misery. It's a truly horrifying scene, a stark testament to the brutality Paisley endured, but also a moment of immense triumph amidst the tragedy as Paisley is rescued from a fate similar to Madison's.
With the scars.
The sheer relief of finding her alive, even in that horrific state, must have been overwhelming. But as a reader, you immediately think, what will be the lasting scars from an experience like that? It shifts from the terror of the abduction to the enduring trauma, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The immediate relief is quickly replaced by the weight of what has happened, and the full confession of Walton Hunsinger, monitored by Jude, Emmy, and Cole, then lays bare the entire twisted plot, filling in the remaining agonizing gaps.
Walton sings.
Walton recites the names, putting his crimes on record. Me, Virgil, Cheyenne, and Madison. He reveals that Cheyenne initiated the blackmail, believing they would get $50,000 to move to Atlanta with Madison, planning to leave on Halloween. It's a testament to how far these girls were willing to go for perceived freedom and how dangerously naive they were about the consequences.
And Virgil's true dark motive emerges. He argued that $50,000 was only the start, and that the girls would keep coming back for more. He wanted to eliminate them to prevent being controlled, to prevent any further risk to his meticulously crafted double life.
He couldn't risk exposure.
Walton confirms that he and Virgil, not Dale, were in the Audi on the night of the abduction. Dale, a prick, had lined the trunk with a tarp but didn't duct tape it, seeing it as a game of chicken.
Unbelievable.
They met Cheyenne at 6:30 p.m. on the back roads, a meeting Virgil arranged. Walton confirms Virgil's dark cunning. I was his get-out-of-jail-free card. If things went sideways, he was going to kill me and make it look like he'd saved the day. That's how smart Virgil was, always strategizing. It paints a picture of Virgil as a truly calculating, cold-blooded puppet master, always several steps ahead, even of his own accomplice.
The girls' bravery and ultimate torture are revealed in gut-wrenching detail. Walton expresses this twisted, almost perverted admiration for Cheyenne's toughness. It took hours for her to give up Madison. Any man would have cracked, but she held on to the bitter end.
Horrifying.
She wouldn't reveal the mini SD card, which was later found in Madison's pocket. Virgil had put it back in the Nokia, refusing to let Walton see the video, though Walton suspected he watched it. Madison was then taken to the barn where he tortured her for hours. He let his fantasies play out. Her hands and feet were systematically broken with the 16-ounce general-purpose claw hammer that Emmy found earlier. The level of detail Karin Slaughter provides here is truly horrifying, leaving nothing to the imagination about the girl's suffering.
It's designed to be unforgettable, I think. As for disposing of the bodies, they were placed in Millie's pond. Virgil, in a twisted gesture of compassion to Madison's parents, wanted them found, but Emmy correctly interprets it as a big fuck you to her and Gerald, a final act of psychological torment against the very people who were trying to bring him down.
And Walton's reason for framing Adam.
Walton's true self-serving motive for framing Adam is laid bare, just dripping with self-pity and moral bankruptcy. I had a choice to make, his life or mine. I knew Adam would abandon Alma. I had to keep myself out of prison so I could be there for her. This is a chilling justification for destroying another man's life.
Protecting himself, basically.
And Jude also reveals that Walton had given Alma a toxic dose of lidocaine to keep her from talking, highlighting his ruthlessness even against his own wife. And finally, the predatory nature of the abductions is confirmed when Walton admits that Cheyenne was Virgil's choice. Virgil saw her at the outlet mall and something just clicked inside of him.
Just saw her.
They, girls, were Virgil's choice though. I was going to leave her alone, but he saw her at the outlet mall and something just clicked inside of him. This confirms the horrifying, premeditated act driven by control and perverse desire, shattering any illusion that these were random, isolated incidents.
Even with the truth finally laid bare, the personal tolls and generational scars continue to haunt our protagonists, revealing layers of unresolved grief and complex family dynamics that run deep so North Falls. It's never just about solving the crime, is it? It's about living with its aftermath.
The emotional impact on Emmy is utterly overwhelming. She finds Paisley, but the relief is short-lived, quickly replaced by the sheer trauma of it all. Her bones felt like they were trembling inside of her body. She could see two of everything.
A shock.
Both her parents, Myrna, who is suffering from Alzheimer's and now in a care facility, and Gerald, who was murdered, are gone. Emmy realizes she is effectively an orphan. Her father, Gerald, had always been her rudder, gently steering her. Myrna, the wind in her sails.
So much loss.
She feels an immense burden, afraid if she set them down, she would never be able to pick them back up again, especially with Paisley, the squad, and the town counting on her. This moment is so critical because it shows the profound cumulative weight of public service and personal loss. It's not just about what she's experienced, but the expectations now thrust upon her, the leadership she's forced to embody even in her deepest grief.
In the act of killing Virgil, even in self-preservation, adds another layer of profound, inescapable weight. It was an act of survival, yes, but as Jude notes, it's a hell of a thing to kill a man.
Yeah, that sticks with you.
This adds to the already heavy burdens of losing Gerald and the slow march alongside Myrna as she drew closer to her grave. We also see Emmy's past struggles resurface in a heartbreaking confession to Dylan. Jonah beat me down so hard. I chose him over Hannah. I chose him over Madison. I didn't deserve your forgiveness.
No, Emmy.
Dylan's gentle, insightful response, you can't choose something if you don't know you have a choice, highlights Emmy's journey towards self-forgiveness and understanding her own trauma. It acknowledges that sometimes the most profound guilt isn't for what you did, but for what you couldn't do or what you didn't understand at the time.
That line from Dylan is so incredibly powerful and gives Emmy and us a path toward understanding. And what's truly remarkable is the revelation of Jude Archer's true identity and history.
Jude, or Martha.
She is Martha, Gerald's estranged daughter, and Emmy's aunt. She had faked her death 40 years ago after a drunk driving accident and stealing Millie's car. Her great-uncle, the county prosecutor, and other family members covered it up, creating the story that she died in a car accident in Memphis.
Wow, the family secrets run deep.
Jude, a retired FBI criminal psychologist specializing in missing children, came back to North Falls initially as a consultant for Paisley's case. Her dedication to finding missing children stems from her own profound loss. Her brother, Henry, drowned when she was little, and his body wasn't found for 6 days, leaving her mother completely apart, and her father drank himself into a stupor.
Explains so much about her drive.
And her last words to Gerald, moments before she left, were, "I hated him." It's a cycle of grief, anger, and secrecy that spans generations, directly impacting the present.
This generational grief is further deepened by the poignant discovery of Gerald's secret. Emmy finds a scrapbook in his filing cabinet filled with articles about Jude's career.
He was following her.
He had been following her, having done a deep dive on the internet to keep tabs on his estranged daughter. He was even writing her a letter, beginning with, "I'm so sorry," just before he was killed.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
This reveals a hidden layer of his character, a journey of learning how to forgive that he undertook in secret, seeking reconciliation with the daughter he thought he had lost and pushed away. It's heart-wrenching to think he was seeking that forgiveness and understanding just before his own violent end. What do you think this says about the pervasive nature of secrets and the quiet, often unexpressed longing for connection within families, particularly in a community like North Falls?
It's a profound commentary on the enduring weight of family secrets and unspoken pain. Gerald's scrapbook and unsent letter are a testament to how even the strongest, most stoic individuals carry deep emotional burdens. It suggests that while the visible crimes are devastating, the quiet internal struggles, the hidden grief, the yearning for forgiveness, the unaddressed guilt, can be just as destructive to the individual spirit over a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's a powerful intertwining of multiple generations of Clifton family grief and resilience, where the past is always just beneath the surface, shaping the present. Emmy, Cole, Tommy, Celia, Millie, and Jude all carry the weight of family tragedy and secrets. Emmy's decision to let Jude stay for Gerald's funeral, despite their raw conflict and the lingering shadows of the past, signifies a crucial step toward healing and understanding within the fractured family. The story concludes with Emmy stepping into Gerald's office and sitting in his chair, realizing she's inherited his role and burdens, but also his strengths.
Taking his place.
She understands the weight of responsibility that comes with being a Clifton in North Falls, but she also has a newfound perspective on her family's history, finding a path forward through forgiveness and a deeper understanding of those who came before her. It's a heavy but ultimately maybe hopeful ending. In a way.
In a very scarred, complicated way, yeah. What an emotionally charged and intricately woven story. We are all guilty here, truly is. Karin Slaughter pulls back the curtain on the complexities of crime, the indelible ties of family, and the profound burden of secrets in a town that, on the surface, appears so quiet and unassuming. It leaves you breathless, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Through Emmy's relentless investigation, we've seen how initial assumptions can lead to false convictions, how hidden lives can reveal shocking truths, and how the deepest, most unfathomable betrayals can come from those closest to us, those we implicitly trust.
Right under your nose.
The insights into predatory behavior, the psychological toll on law enforcement, and the generational impact of trauma on an entire family are truly profound and unsettling. It's a book that stays with you, challenging your perceptions of justice and community long after you've closed the cover.
And it leaves you with this lingering question, doesn't it? How often do we, as readers and as members of our own communities, become complicit in the very guilt the title alludes to, simply by accepting surface appearances or failing to look beyond convenient narratives? Karin Slaughter's incredible narrative reminds us that the true monsters are often not the pervs on the fringes, but the respected figures, the very fabric of society. It challenges us to look deeper, to question our biases, and to acknowledge the immense, often unseen burdens of trauma and responsibility that shape every North Falls around us.
So what stood out to you, listener? How did this unraveling mystery challenge your perceptions of justice and community? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We always find it fascinating to hear your take on these complex stories.
We hope this exploration of Karin Slaughter's We Are All Guilty Here has provided you with new perspectives, plenty of aha moments, and perhaps a renewed appreciation for the power of narrative. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like this episode, share it with a friend who loves a good thriller, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
Please do.
It really helps us bring more gripping discussions to you every week. Join us next week, where we'll be diving into the enchanting world of Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. A bit of a palate cleanser, maybe?
Definitely a different vibe. Looking forward to it.
Until our next page turner, stay curious.